What's up, guys? How's it going? It's the Chase Elliott fan, and finally, NASCAR is back. It's been a long winter. Let me just say that because, oh my gosh, the Clash is on Sunday. Practice for all of it's on tomorrow, starting at 11:30. The ARCA race is tomorrow at 4:30. I am ready. I just want to see cars on the track. I want to see the practice. I will be watching all day long. That is one thing for certain. Now, this video is not based on this, though. This video is based on some of the news that we have gotten that I have not gone over. Now, we have not gotten big bombshell news, honestly, for a while. I mean, the season's almost here. But we have gotten lots and lots, and I mean a ton of news from smaller teams and things that people may not recognize as newsworthy. But I'm going to go over it all here today, and I'm going to show you the notes that I make right here, kind of to keep track from when something happens. I type it down, and I go along with that list. Now, this one's extremely long, first of all, because there's tiny things, billions of them, and I haven't made a video in quite a while. So let's go ahead and do that. I like to keep lists because I feel like it helps me remember things. But I think it's honestly good that I do that. And so let's go ahead and look, and I don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. All right, so here we go. So let's start with Cura Life. Will be sponsoring Spencer Boyd in the Daytona race. He will be staying in that 20 truck full-time, we know, for Young's Motorsports. Cura Life is a diabetes help medicine, and he will have that sponsor, so that is nice to see there. Now, this is one of the biggest news here, is that Jordan Anderson and Jordan Anderson Racing will be moving in to Statesville, North Carolina, in a shop there where that was an old Front Row Motorsports shop. And not only in there will be Jordan Anderson Racing, but AM Racing's 22 truck with Austin Wayne Self and Wintron Racing will also be in that shop. They will all be pooling all of their details and all of their setups into one. They'll be kind of like teammates, but they'll be separate teams, but they'll be in the same shop sharing information. So that is great to see there. Small teams doing great stuff, doing big stuff. And I'm enjoying this. They needed more space, and that's what they're doing. So I hope that all three of those teams have a great season. Wintron Racing is an ARCA, and they will be part-time trucks this season. And I'll get to more of that later with their driver announcements and all of that stuff. They will all be Chevrolet teams, by the way. And now here's some big news as well. J.J. Yaley, who we got announced will be full-time in the Cup Series for Rick Ware Racing, will actually be in the 54 car for the Daytona 500, and on the entry list was revealed. He will be in the 54 car, and that is an unchartered car. So that means he's not locked in, and he will have to race his way in, although he is a full-time driver, apparently, for Rick Ware. And then that 52 chartered car, they put BJ McLeod. Seems like that James Davison deal that was weird didn't work out at all. Reed Sorensen is going to attempt the Daytona 500 in the number 27 for Premium Motorsports. He does not have a charter. That team does not have a charter, so we will have to see if he makes the race. Fire Alarm Services will be joining John Hunter Nemechek and Front Row Motorsports for 4 races. Paint scheme's pretty awesome. And Fire Alarm Services has been a partner of John Hunter Nemechek's forever, since Truck Days, last year in Xfinity. Pretty much forever. So, that's great to see there. Sirius XM will be sponsoring Martin Truex Jr. for a majority of races this season, one of them being the Clash at Daytona, which is just Sunday. So that is great to see there. Probably bringing more sponsorship because he won with them at Dover last year, the first Dover race. So that's great to see there. Spencer Davis is running for Rookie of the Year in the NASCAR Gator RV and Outdoors Truck Series. Now, he has no ride announced. It's very much rumored that he will be making his own truck team and try to run full time, going for Rookie of the Year. And they released the Rookie of the Year list for trucks, and then they just added two more, Tate Fogelman and Derek Kraus, to that list. And also, Andy Seuss will not be running for Rookie of the Year in the Xfinity Series. But anyway, we'll have to see what Spencer Davis does if he shows up to Daytona, because he is running for Rookie of the Year. CMR Roofing and Construction is returning to Brett Moffitt and GMS Racing for 3 races this season. They were in that truck for a while. He won at Canadian Tire with them. I believe they were there for like the last 5 races or so in 2019. So that's nice to see there. Stephen Light will be going to MBM Motorsports in the number 13 part-time. I'm excited for Stephen Light. I think he could do pretty great things in that car. Cometic Gasket will be the official pole award for the Truck Series, so whenever they win the pole, it'll be the Cometic Gasket pole award. Really nothing different, but they'll put little stickers on their like front bumper every time you get the pole, the Cometic Gasket award, and whoever has the most at the end of the season gets the award of the Cometic Gasket, pole winner of the year and stuff like that. The Clash entry list and the Daytona 500 entry list were revealed. They made some changes to the 500 entry list, like Brendan Gaughan is available and opting for Cup Series points. That team is Beard Motorsports, so that's pretty cool. David Starr will be going full-time in the Xfinity Series. He is leaving Jimmy Means Motorsports in that 52 to go to the renumbered number 6 car for JD Motorsports full-time. It's crazy that they're leaving the 01 JD Motorsports and going to the 6, renumbered, new number, new driver, and new year all in one. That's pretty crazy. Chartered cars, so like we know Daniel Suarez will not be going into the Clash even though he's eligible. We know Hemrick won't because he's eligible but he doesn't even have a ride. Suarez's team's just too small. But I learned that the chartered cars actually must compete in the Clash, which is pretty interesting. I actually never knew that for some reason. Nalani Quintello will do the national anthem prior to the Daytona 500, the 62nd running. Sam Hunt Racing has revealed a new partnership with TRD, so that's great to see there. They will have a strong Toyota alliance. They did the last race in Homestead last year in the Xfinity Series. What was it? Colin Garrett driving. So I hope they could do great. Track Pass is doing a lot of more things. They will be having like all of the ARCA East, all of the ARCA West races on there, so just making it even more worth it to pay that money. The Indianapolis Road Course race for the Xfinity Series, the lengths of the stages were announced and the whole race, and it was announced that Pennzoil is sponsoring the race. Obviously, I mean, it's owned by Penske, the track is. So Pennzoil is a sponsor to Logano, who races for Penske, so it's kind of obvious. Ryan Truex will be doing 6 races for Nice Motorsports in the number 40 with Marquis Hot Tubs, or Spas, as the sponsor. Now, that's been a sponsor with him as Junior Motorsports in 2019. It's great to see Ryan Truex get another opportunity in the Truck Series. He did great in 2017 with Hattori. Gus Dean will be doing the Truck Series race at Daytona in the 56 truck, the Chevrolet Silverado, in a partnership with Hill Motorsports and Wintron Racing. It will be Hill Motorsports' first super speedway race, so that's great to see there. Gus Dean was that 12 truck that he was full-time last year, and that team's like the points are going to the 00 for Ray Hume Brothers Racing and Angelo Rook. Robbie Lyons will be joining JDM, Johnny Davis Motorsports. Like, honestly, how many announcements are there going to be for JDM? Like, JD Motorsports, it's constant. They have announced so many drivers, and barely any of them have been announced with a number, besides David Starr, which I just said, and there's JDM number 6. They're renumbering that. I already said that. Jacob Companies will be sponsoring Quinn Houff and the number 00 Starcom Racing at the Daytona 500. Wintron Racing will be going part-time in the Truck Series with, well, guess who? Howie DeSavino, which is great to see. Their first race will be at Richmond, his home track. And also, like I said, that Gus Dean Hill Motorsports thing will be in partnership with Wintron Racing at Daytona. The Coca-Cola is the title sponsor of the iRacing series now, so that's great to see. They have replaced Peak Antifreeze. Black's Tire will sponsor Todd Gilliland in the truck series since he's with Front Row Motorsports, which has a DGR Crosley alliance. NASCAR is allowing teams to run the old Chevy if they don't have the money, so both premium motorsports cars, Brennan Poole and Reed Sorensen, are doing that at Daytona. Pointy bumper, which could be bad. They at the beginning they said they wouldn't allow them, but they changed their minds. I understand why. I mean, they got to get teams in there. They can't let the teams completely blow all their money on that. You know what I mean? And Love's Travel Stops will be returning to NASCAR, and Michael McDowell as a primary sponsor. Front Row Motorsports. A Tony Stewart sprint car game is coming out this month. We've heard nothing about it, and randomly it's coming out. It'll probably be bad. That's all I can say. But it'll be fun. If it's only $30, which I heard from someone, that I think I would get it. It's like first time sprint car game came out since like 2010, so it might be pretty cool. Now, the Money Team Racing has reserved the number 50 number in the Cup Series, but they have not announced any plans, no drivers, nothing. So we will have to wait and see for Floyd Mayweather's weirdo NASCAR team. BJ McLeod will be returning to JD Motorsports with Gary Keller this year, just like he did that, last year and the year before and the year before. I think it's like the fourth year now. Now, here we go. Here's some really big news. Next Gen test schedule has been announced. It starts at Auto Club in March and goes a bunch, and it will happen right after the races happen. So on Monday, most likely. Organizational tests is only one car from each organization. Open tests are for all teams. There will also be Goodyear tire tests. It'll be interesting to see how this works. It should be summertime when the teams actually get the cars in their shops. So yeah, I don't know if Dallara is gonna make their chassis anymore. I kind of hope they do, kind of hope they don't. We will have to wait and see for them spec chassis. Now, the NASCAR Hall of Fame, their induction system has changed. It is only 3 guys going in now instead of 5 to keep it more exclusive and the best of the best. 1 will be a pioneer and 2 will be from the current era. Yeah, I mean, if your career started more than 60 years ago, you're a pioneer. If it started less, you're a current era as of 2020 or 2021 technically, because that's when the Hall of Fame thing happens. And that's nice to see. Keep it more exclusive. Land Castle does not have any plans for Speed Weeks. Unfortunate that Starcom Racing completely destroyed his career. The carousel will stay at Sonoma just like last year. That's great. There will be a 4th JGR Xfinity car because all the other ones are taken up by full-time Xfinity drivers. This one will have Kyle Busch for 5 races, not announced, and Denny Hamlin for Darlington, which that race got taken away from him last year. Larry's Lemonade will sponsor the 68 Xfinity car for Brandon Brown at Daytona. Jet Nolan will do 6 races for Nice Motorsports. Not announced a number yet, but his first race will be Richmond and some other races, 6 or 5 more. Sports Clips will continue to sponsor Eric Jones for 5 races, including the Clash in the Cup Series. 5 races in the Cup Series. They will also jet out and sponsor Martin Truex Jr. for 1 race at Dover and Kyle Busch for 1 race at Phoenix, the first Phoenix race, and they will stay with Denny Hamlin for 1 race in the Xfinity Series for Darlington, so that's great to see there. Kevin Harvick is stopping from being an announcer for some Xfinity races to focus on racing and family. K&N is staying as a contingency sponsor and the official oil filter of NASCAR, but obviously they are not the sponsor. It's not K&N Pro Series anymore. It's ARCA East, ARCA West, stuff like that. Hattori Racing Enterprises is returning to the Xfinity Series. Austin Hill will drive the car at Daytona. Not announced if they will have the thing with MBM anymore, but they probably will, and they will hope to do more races as well. Barstool Sports will sponsor 2 drivers this year. Only one announced is Clint Boyer. Jeffrey Earnhardt's going back to JDM, and he has 12 races lined up so far. First one will start at Atlanta in March. Hopefully they can get the sponsorship to do more there, saying Peck Motorsports in the number 96 car and a hometown Pennsylvania sponsor will be trying to attempt Daytona in a Chevrolet. I already told you about Howie DeSavino, and the U.S. Air Force is returning to Richard Petty Motorsports in that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Warthog, especially with that new Camaro. So, oh my gosh, that was too much, and thank you so much for watching. If you stuck it with me all the way to the end, wow, that's great. I am surprised because that was too much to go over. That was, I'm out of breath. That was a lot. So, yeah, thanks for sticking with me if you did. If you didn't, I understand. But, so thank you so much for watching this video, guys. And, of course, I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye, guys.